Hi, and welcome to the Selecting Categories. In this section, you'll create the model view presenter architecture and implement the first Android activity. You'll learn about inheritance in Kotlin, about implementing interfaces and extending classes, and you'll also learn about extension functions in Kotlin standard library, and how to call suspend functions, and about smart casting. And this is the first video of the section, Views and Presenters. In this video, you'll create the interfaces our views and presenters will use. Then you'll create the base classes for selecting categories. You will learn about inheritance in Kotlin, and you'll see how Kotlin has support for functional programming using some of extension methods from Kotlin standard library. So in the root package of our project, add two interfaces. First, the base view, and this is a marker interface for all views, and it does not have any methods. The second interface is presenter interface, and this one has one method, bind, which accepts a view as a parameter, and the interface is generic, and the generic constraint is base view, and with this we enforce that presenters can only be used with our views. And the users of our app will be asked to select some news categories that they're interested in when they first open the app. And they can change the categories they're interested in later. And pre-selecting and changing them will have a similar code and similar UI. So we're gonna extract the reused parts into based classes. So add a new package in the root package, name it categories. And inside that package, first create an interface called base categories view. And you can see that it extends the base view interface that we previously created. And the interface has two methods. The presenters will call these methods when categories are selected and when no category has been selected. Now add the base categories presenter class. The class should be abstract and it has one constructor property, share preference object. And there's also one abstract property, and that's the view that presenter binds to. And the presenter has two methods. On category changing will be called from the view when user toggles a button for a category. And the tag parameter presents a correct category, and enabled tells us if it's checked or not. And inside the method we obtain the string set, which represents the saved categories from the share preferences by this key, and this is just a constant defined in the keys file. And if the category was selected, the enabled argument is true, and then we just append the selected category to the existing ones. And we do this with this syntax. And Kotlin supports operator overloading, and in the standard library, plus operator on generic collection interface is overloaded, so you can use this syntax to add an item to a collection. And if category is being removed, we check it. If it's the only one selected, then we notify the view that it should inform the user and just return false. Otherwise, we use the same syntax to remove the selected categories from the existing ones. And the second method will be called when the view starts, and it will just get the selected categories and pass them to the view so it can pre-select the saved ones. And you can see here a null safety feature of Kotlin, and that's this question mark. And this line will only execute if this object is not null. And now we need the base categories activity. So in the same package, add this class, and it's also abstract, but it extends the app compat activity, and it implements the base categories view. And it has two abstract properties, categories view group, which hosts the category toggle buttons, and the base categories presenter. And the first method, fill categories, will be called when activity starts. It fills the categories view group dynamically with category names we have defined in string resources. And this object is a map of category tags and their string resource IDs. And in Kotlin, you can iterate over a map interface with this syntax, specifying two parameters in the for loop, one for key and one for value. So for each entry in the map, we inflate the view, which is just a basic toggle button defined in the layouts folder as an XML file. And then we just set some text properties, set the typeface, and set a click listener which tells the presenter that category is being selected or deselected. And finally add it to the view group. You also have show no category selected method, which just shows a toast that you should have at least one category selected. And finally, you have on category selected method, which is called an activity startup, and pre-selects the toggle buttons with already selected categories. And you can see in this method a lot of Kotlin standard library of extension methods which operate on collection and iterable interfaces. And you can also see here how Kotlin has support for functional programming. You start with a range of integers, then you map them to Android views, then filter views which are toggle buttons, and then finally filter which are pre-selected by checking if they contain the tag. The ones that are pre-selected, you iterate over them with this for each function and set them to checked.